You know, it was really complimentary football from offense, defense, special teams, field position. And again, I thought we played our most complete game since I've been the head coach here against a really good team that we expected to be a battle. You know, we talked about winning in the trenches. We talked about winning the takeaway battle, and that showed up today.
Starting back with Matt. Dan, what do you make of the way your team started going down the field, scoring touchdowns for the first 4 times?
Yeah, unique for us to want, you know, we don't generally take the ball, but we felt like this was a game we talked about bringing the fight, right? We knew this was going to be a battle, a 15-rounder, and we wanted to try to set the tone early. We felt really good about our openers, felt good about our team, and we said, let's go be aggressive. And, you know, that's the way the game started, and I think that just really set the tone for the rest of the game for us.
Second row, middle, Zach.
What's the mood like in the locker room right now when these guys are having such a big road victory?
Yeah, they're fired up. You know, there's a lot of dancing and singing going on in there. But I asked the team afterwards, are you guys satisfied? And every single one of them said no, which for me is exciting as a coach. These guys are ready to grow and get better. Our best is ahead of us. And, you know, the next week is the most important week. And that's the way it's going to continue to be for us as we move forward.
On the right, Trevor, back.
You could just see the outpouring emotion on JPJ's face as he went to that, the Ducks fans. I mean, what did you say to him after this game, and how good do you feel for him getting a win in his home state?
Yeah, I'm just so proud of that guy. I mean, that guy's put on for his team all season, and he's performed at a really high level. You know, we have one of the best centers in the nation. I don't think there's any question about that. And he's a guy who can do a lot for his team, but I know this game meant a lot to him. He's one of the guys that doesn't mind sharing his emotions. It was an emotional game for him, but to see him perform the way he did and be as composed as he was, I think it was really impressive.
Eric on the left.
Open like 12 to 13, the offense was humming. Just speak to his performance, and obviously other people talk about the word stuff, but how do you think he stacks up in the country?
I want to say it again. Bo Nix is the best quarterback in the nation, just to be really clear. I don't think there's any doubt about it. And again, it's not just the plays he makes on the field, right? I think a lot of people can talk about chasing stats and all these things. This guy just plays consistent. He gets us in the right call. He comes to the sideline and helps us through adjustments. He tells us what he sees. And then he's an unbelievable person, right? And when you have a good team like we have, and we have a quarterback like we have, that's a special recipe for success.
Right here. Front.
You only had to play Utah in that third down defense 3 times in the first half, and then in the second half you kind of broke through it going 4-7. How did you prepare so well to face Utah on the third down?
You know, I'll say that our coaches' prep this week, I think, is the best that they've been as far as saying, okay, let's look outside the box. We know we're playing a really good team. Let's have some great answers. How can we avoid third down? I think that's a big piece for this team, is making sure that we're successful on first and second. But I just thought in general, in all phases, that our coaches did a phenomenal job preparing for what they might see defensively, offensively, and in special teams, and having a plan for it.
Front middle.
Utah, through the first 3 quarters, only got 28 rushing yards, 1.2 yards per carry. What was kind of the catalyst for you guys being able to effectively just shut down their running attack and kind of limit Baki and Jackson, who'd been their top playmakers coming into the game?
Well, to ever have success, you got to stop a team's strength. Man, obviously their run game has been a strength for them. We wanted to try to make them play left-handed, and we felt like, hey, if they want to try to throw it through the air, that gives us the best chance. They had some success there at the end of the second quarter. You know, unfortunately for us, but I thought the rest of the game our players played some really tight coverage, and we were able to get off blocks. You know, football is really simple. Get off blocks, make tackles, right? On offense, protect the ball, block well, right? Move the line of scrimmage, and our guys did that today.
Second row, middle, Zach.
Once again, it feels like your pass rush really kind of wore down and got home in the second half. What is it about the defensive line that, you know, has the ability to do that and kind of make it a second half game?
Strength in numbers, you know, guys playing selfless football. If we went out there and started rushing the passer on first down in this game, we wouldn't have been successful, right? So when being advantageous when the opportunity comes to be able to rush, we knew he's an elusive quarterback that can move the pocket. We had to finish on him. I think there's a couple missed opportunities out there for us too, but our guys are really dialed into the plan, knew when they had a chance to go be successful in the rush, and took advantage of it.
Back row, middle, Matt.
People are going to look at the score and say, well, that's a big win. It's a statement win. Do you believe in statement wins? Do you believe in those types of big outcomes like that?
Well, it's certainly the best performance of our team since I've been here, and I think we have a really good football team. You know, you want to compare what we were last year to this year. I don't think there's really a comparison. You know, I think we're a really talented team. You know, the difference is we're going to play great teams week in and week out this year in this conference. I think it's the best this conference has ever been. I think it's really apparent this is the best we've been since I've been here. So really proud of where we're at. Certainly not done. We're not going to rest on our laurels. We got more work to do.
Back row, right, Trevor.
Sure, all week you heard about the Utes physically their front seven. What did this win say about your team's physicality and your front seven and your team's toughness?
Yeah, we're a tough team, right? We're a tough team, and no, don't mistake it. That's a tough team we just played. They're tough, but so are we, right? And all you have to do is come watch Tuesday practice, and you'll see how our guys work. And it showed up today, right? The work that's done between Monday and Saturday, or Sunday and Saturday, that showed up today.
Front right, James.
Man, this is a pit to play in. Won 18 straight, 29 of 30, and lost like this at home in like 10 years. This is a big deal in that way. How do you try to encapsulate to your guys just how important this was? Like it's beating somebody who doesn't get beat like this at home.
Well, it's important because it was the game ahead of us. We talked about trying to take the crowd out of it early. We knew, we've been a part of games where we've gotten ahead and we'd had success, and I just don't think anybody on our sideline ever thought twice about taking their foot off the gas. We talked about attacking, and that's what we did today. And again, a good team, you don't want to let them hang around. And we felt like we could have a dominant performance, and that showed up today. But I'll say this, that's one of the best coaches I've ever gone against. And I've got the ultimate respect for Coach Winningham and the job he does. And, that team's going to be really good before this season's all said and done. They've been a really good team going into this moment.
Right over here, second row.
Was there any moment, especially early today, where you looked at your offense and had some thought like, my God, that's gorgeous?
There was a couple gorgeous moments. Yeah, there was a couple moments that were gorgeous. Again, I give a lot of credit to our coaching staff and the job they did from a prep standpoint. People always talk about the haze in the barn on Thursday, like you're done prepping, you're done preparing, because that's kind of like your last really intense practice. We're sitting here going through the openers as a staff this morning, and we made some changes that ended up being critical in the game, where we said, hey, you know what, we want to make sure we get a hard run here. We think we can get a numbers count here, and just continue to prepare, continue to work. I'm really impressed with our staff, and then I'm really impressed with our players' execution and belief.
Front left, or second row. Eric.
Thanks, James. 2 turnovers. One sets you right up there in the red zone. The second one kind of curbs momentum after the kick. Just speak to those points.
You talk about putting out the fire, right? And I think of all the games that I've experienced since I've been here, our defense, really capitalized on putting out the fire. That big return, to turn around and get a turnover the next play and, quiet the crowd. I think that was huge and came in really opportune moments. And then, offense having opportunities to go take advantage of that as well can really swing the momentum. And that's what it takes in games like this.
Middle back, Zach.
Before the game, you kind of take a moment to yourself, walk the field by yourself. What's that moment like for you? What's going through your head in that moment?
I'm just picturing what the game's going to look like. I always talk about playing the game before the game ever happens, right? I'm trying to assess where the play clock's at. Okay, where the timeout? Where's the board? I want to make sure that I'm my best for our players. So how do you do that? You got to know where the clock's at. What's the environment? And when you get out there in the field, you don't want it to be a surprise. So for me, one, as I walk that field, I'm thinking everybody that ever helped me get here. Right? I don't belong here any more than anybody else. There's a lot of people who can be sitting in this seat. But there's a lot of people to help get me here. And then second, I'm saying, okay, what do I got to do to be prepared and give my best performance for our team?
Is this kind of what you pictured in that moment?
Yeah, we gave up 6 points. I was hoping we'd give up 0, but similar.
Right next one, Bill.
Dan, you were part of a team that won a national championship just 2 years ago. So I'd ask you this: is this team capable of reaching that level by the end of the year?
If we continue to grow and continue to elevate our performance as we move forward and continue to not be satisfied and don't read your press clippings, I don't know where this team's can be. But I'll tell you this: that locker room's not going to do that. Right? These dudes are about to work as hard as they've ever worked on a Monday, just because I know them. And we have, to have success and to go play for championships, it takes a little bit of luck. It takes a little bit of good fortune. It takes being healthy. We have a winning team in that locker room. We have a special team in that locker room. But we got to continue to perform, and that's what's great about college football. Any given Saturday.
Front right, James.
We talked a lot this week about John Ellis. A lot of teams talk about John Ellis. You sneaked him out of the game. Nothing. 0. How'd you do it?
Well, I remember at the beginning of the year when everybody was talking about our O-line and saying, man, that's a big question mark. I don't know if that's a question mark anymore. You talk about a quarterback that's able to move the pocket. You talk about coaching staff that puts guys in advantageous situations. That dude's a good player. Right? I don't think it's a secret. You watch him play against other teams. But I'll tell you this, we knew where he was at all moments. And I thought our players executed well. We had some pre-snap penalties. It's probably as much on us that we can work through as a staff and execution. But we limited, our post-snap penalties and things like that can really hurt us because of that preparation. So we knew where he was at all times. He's an elite player. I'm proud of how our guys performed against him today.
Back here on the right, Warren.
Dan, you talked about the prep during the
it seemed like you had an answer on both sides of the football for everything that they did. Did you see anything, I guess, that you didn't see coming today?
No, I feel like, what we prepped for, we saw. I think a lot of times people want to make a lot of in-game adjustments, and what's that look like? And for us, I think early on we said, okay, let's settle into our plan. What we've planned for is what we're about to get, and being prepared for another punch. How will they adapt? But I thought our coaching staff, again, did a great job preparing our players, and I thought our players really dialed into what we were going to get.
Right here in the front. Utah specializes in getting quarterbacks back that days most of the time. And there's a lot that's been said about the quarterbacks across the Pac-12 conference this year. With all of that talent that's across the Pac-12, what do you think Bo Nix has that specifically other quarterbacks may not have?
Yeah, competitive nature. I guess every quarterback's competitive, but this guy's like really intelligent. Really intelligent. And he thinks he's Goliath. And you know what? At times he performs like it. It's impressive to see him be out there because he has, the most confidence in the world in himself, and that confidence really pays off on game day. I don't know. I can't say enough great things about Bo Nix. He's special.
Last question, James.
Kind of following that, then one of the most efficient performances against the Utah defense. Got a lot of love during the telecast about being the Heisman contender. Talked about how he's the best in the country. Getting a roadman like this has been elusive for him. What do you think this setting, and last year was a defining win of walking on 1 foot. What do you think this win here, about Heisman moments?
Yeah, proof's in the pudding. We got an elite quarterback. He performed today against a really good team, against a really good defense, probably the best defense in this conference. And I think everybody out there that watched this game can see, who Bo Nix is. I want to take a quick second to say something that's important to our players. And I wouldn't normally hop into this, but I want everybody to understand that this is not political in any way. But as a dad of 3 kids, a 13-year-old, a 12-year-old, a 10-year-old, I see at times what's going on in this country, and I think, I have a platform that is worth saying something about. And what I'll say right now is, where is the respect for human life? And I think there's a lot more to this. I mean, people can say, let's make it about guns and let's make it about mental health. Why can't we use the common sense approach and make it about everything? And this isn't me taking a stance, but our players told me this spring that gun violence was really important to them. And I just want to ask everybody, what are we doing about it, right? We can continue to sit around and expect different results. And don't think I'm sitting here talking about gun control. Don't think I'm not talking about mental health. I'm talking about all of it. And how about we got a lot of smart people in this country. How about we do something to fix it, right? And I know that means a lot to our players. It certainly means something to me when I send my 3 kids to school and expect to see them come home. And I think enough's enough. But at some point, we got to look at ourselves, take a hard look in the mirror, and figure out where can we support the people that are having problems with mental health in this country. Where can we support making sure that people that shouldn't have weapons don't have weapons, and support, really our law enforcement to where they can, help handle situations when situations arise. So, again, I'm not trying to be political, but I do care about human life. And I do care about human decency, and I'm hoping that at some point we can take a stand and do something about it. Thank you, guys.